Over 120,000 Canadian left Canada in 2025, the highest number in recent history. Meanwhile, a small city like Dubai grew by 200,000, and we are well on the way to reach to 5 million by 2030. Today I'm joined with Faisal, our agent who's been here with us in Dubai for the past 2 years, a person who used to live in Canada for 30 years, but he decided to move to Dubai after all those years. Let's find out why people like him that are leaving Canada and they are coming to Dubai. Welcome, Faisal, to the show.
Thanks, Alai. Great to be here.
Good to have you here. Let's go dive into the details of why people from Canada or other cities and countries are moving to Dubai. Now, you've been in Canada for what? How many years?
30 years. I moved there in the mid-90s and decided a couple of years ago that it's time to move to a better place for better opportunities.
Nice. Good to know Dubai is a better place.
Yes, so far it's been great.
Fantastic. Tell me why someone, a person like you, living in Canada for 30 years, keep in mind that's a long time, decide to pack your stuff and come to a city like Dubai, far away from Canada. What brings you here?
Well, Eli, I pretty much spent majority of my life in Canada. Canada was home, it's still a second home for me. I'm married, have wife, 2 kids.
Nice.
And a couple of years ago, just the way things were going in Canada, they just weren't working with the way I wanted to live life, and I wanted to grow my family and looking out for my future. Few of the major factors that gave that push for me to move here, obviously we all know about taxes in the Western world and especially Canada. Lifestyle, right? Safety has become a big concern and issue for me, especially as I mentioned before, having kids. So safety, lifestyle, taxes, future growth in Canada. I didn't see much of an opportunities, and just even opportunities at the current moment. Saw that there are better places than Canada, and Dubai was one of the destinations that offer all that.
Okay, nice. Let's just break down for people who they don't know that, you know, the details of what you mentioned right now, one by one, and see why Dubai it's a better choice in general. So let's just go first of all by tax. I mean, I can sit down here and talk about the taxes non-stop, but I want to hear from you, a person again coming from that side of the world.
For sure. So me and my wife, we're both are working. We're working in Canada, and we come from a middle class and average earners that are in 6-figure income. And I'll talk about people that are in the 6-figure income earning over 100,000 or around 100,000 Canadian per year. So roughly you get 33% taken right off the bat from your income before you even see the money. So 33% of your money is gone. After that, you do have some, you have CPI and EI, there's different amounts that go there, but in average it's about 33%. After that, you pay 13% tax on any goods you buy, which you call it VAT, we call it HST. So that
value-added tax, which over here is only 5%.
We were in Canada at 13%. Now, on top of that, when you have property tax that you pay per year, which equates.
Which we don't have here.
Which we don't have in Dubai.
No one knows here, and everyone knows that.
So when you add combination of all these taxes, and you have some taxes that are built in to some products you get. For example, gasoline, which we call in Canada, but here you call petroleum. There's taxes that are added in there. For example, another tax is when you sell, let's say your property, or you made profit on an investment you made, that could be stocks, any investment you made.
Capital appreciation, you mean?
Capital appreciation, and you're paying taxes on that.
Yeah.
So when you combine all these, and when you look at for every dollar that you're earning, you're paying anywhere from 50 to 60% in taxes. So your real income is only 40% that comes in your hand. So you work hard. Both me and my wife, we worked very hard in Canada. We've been working for over 25 years of experience, and you see your hard-earned money that you're making for yourself, that you can use for yourself, for your family, was just going to being taken away from the government. Mind you, you do have benefits from that, but at the time that we are in our lives, we weren't utilizing those benefits. Right?
I was about to ask you about that. So I think maybe for some people that will be beneficial,
For sure.
but I'm sure for lots of other people, that's not the benefit they're looking for. Is that correct?
100. Look, there are still pros to that system.
Yeah.
Right. It works great for someone who's starting off their life, a new immigrant that is moving there, who's just starting off their life, and they need all these support. For example, you get free education. In my case, my kids were going to a private education because I gave up on the education system, that the Canadian system that was teaching our kids. It just wasn't for me and my family and my kids. So my kids went to a private education where I paid out of my own pocket. So I wasn't utilizing that. Healthcare is another great benefit you get if you're part of the system, but it is great when you are starting your life. You are in an entry-level position where you're earning anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000, $50,000 Canadian a year. You can utilize these to your benefit, but do I really want to wait 4 to 8 hours just to have a checkup from a hospital, an emergency? To me, that wasn't cutting it, right? I don't have that much time to wait around to get those services. And for example, if I wanted to get a surgery done or something that was more than just a basic checkup, we're waiting months and months just to get these procedures done. So again, touch wood, right? Me and family, we weren't availing these services as much. And so if you're using these, from healthcare to education, and again, you're starting off your life, you're gonna use these and you have some patience, great, it's an amazing place for you. But for someone who had moved on, had established themselves, in the 30 years I was there, I wanted things at my convenience.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting that, right? And I wanted to have an education system that worked for me and my wife for what we wanted to teach our kids. And I wasn't getting that. So I'm paying for education. I'm even paying for private healthcare where I can, just so I can get some.
But you're not getting
myself.
what you're supposed to get.
I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get, and I'm paying way more for it. And for that same money on this end, I get way more and I get what I want.
I see. Now, to add to that, I mean, Canadians are known for having a good healthcare system.
Yeah.
I guess this is all over the world that people talk about that is like Canadian healthcare system is way more better. Maybe when they compare it to the US market, when they don't get nothing,
Yeah.
maybe that's the best. But as you know, I used to live in Canada myself as well, and I don't have the best experience when it comes to healthcare. I believe, as you said, it's just for the very basic things, but when it comes a bit to a complicated situation, it's not ideal. So
it just takes too long.
Takes too long.
Like, sometimes you just want to get things done and move on with. I remember we were talking a couple of weeks ago, and you were sharing your incident about you getting injured while playing football.
Sure.
And I'll let you explain that you were in and out.
Yeah, I was out for a football, a soccer game as we call it on that side of the board, and I had an injury. The next day when I went to my family doctor, they check it out and says the rib is not broken, there's some bruise, but you can just go and get an MRI to see what's happening. I'm like, okay, fantastic. Which room do I have to go? It goes, no, you have to wait. And I'm like, how many hours I have to wait? It goes, no, you have to wait almost for 2 or 3 months.
Look at that.
It's insane. Meanwhile, the same situation happened to me here in Dubai. And everyone knows here in Dubai, you can get your MRI done within the same hour, 24/7. And it costs you maybe around 200-300 dirham if you don't have insurance. And if you have your insurance, less than $7.
Look at that.
20, 30, 40 dirham maybe.
Look at that.
So
this is, you're saying, the convenience that you have
convenience, yes.
of living in this part of the world.
So now that's the healthcare. So you agree with me, I guess, sometimes it's better to pay for it and get the service.
Get the service done, yeah.
Rather than just like, suppose you say you're not paying for it and you get like half service.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's one of the reasons we say.
For sure.
School, you mentioned briefly about that. I am not going to talk so much about that one. It's, I guess, sensitive topic, I would say,
Yes.
in North America.
Yes, definitely.
What and the way they teach the kids, I'm not sure if the parents they have so much control over that.
Listen, if you're from North America or the Western world, especially from Canada, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's certain topics that are not comfortable with people to be discussed at a young age. And in this part of the world, you feel like you have a little bit more control over what your kids are getting educated. And
Even though you have to pay for it.
sure, I don't mind paying for it, but I want to teach my kids what I want to teach them. I want to have some control over what kind of education my kids are getting. I don't want them to learn any and everything, especially at a tender age of 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there should be some limits to what a kid education would be.
As I mentioned earlier, I believe this is a very sensitive topic. We're not going to dive in so much in the details, but that's
I'm sure
the reason, and you're not the only one.
I'm sure people got what
people
we're
have got
message.
this one, especially people from North America.
Yes.
Let's move to the tax one, because Dubai is known as a city for tax-free. I've been living here for 26 years, and there's a reason behind that. I have experience of living in Canada myself. I invested in Canada as well, in property market, but still, I'm back in Dubai again. I want to hear from your side. I'm sure you are similar to me. You're a homeowner on that side.
Yeah.
You did in purpose of investment and just having your own home. Tell me what's it different. You've been here already also for 2 years, so you know right now about the real estate market here on that side.
Yeah.
So let's just go one by one and explain to me what are the difference. What's the benefit of buying property here versus having a property on the other side?
For sure. So, few of the major reasons you've been getting great appreciation in Dubai. Again, appreciation goes up and down. Real estate is a cycle, but the ROI on this side of the world in Dubai is none other than anywhere else. We're talking about anywhere between 6 to 8% in Dubai.
Realistically,
yes, and vice versa in Canada, it is now down to anywhere between 2 to 4%. Is your
and it's not only
ROI.
Canada, by the way. We're discussing about Canada today, but we know in UK similar things. Most of places in Europe is the same thing.
Same thing.
Assuming even in the US might be slightly higher than Canada.
Sure, but no more than 5%.
No more than 5%. Okay.
So those are big numbers when you're looking as investors.
Yeah.
When you're getting anywhere between 6 to 8%, that's an amazing return. Then on top, another, I would say this is the cherry on the cake, is when you sell your property in the Western world, in Canada, you have to pay property gains taxes. And those sometimes can take away 40 to 50% of your hard-earned profit. Or sure, if it's hard-earned, you put the money in, that was hard-earned, but it takes away 40 to 50% of your money that should have come into your
So
pocket.
you simply putting down your money, hoping for market to be good and you get your capital appreciation. And then let's say, suppose even if you make that money, you still have to pay tax on top of that.
You have to pay a tax on top of that.
Which in Dubai we pay zero. So
You put every single cent or every single dirham back in your pocket in Dubai.
fantastic. I mean, I know about that. I wanted to hear from your side as well. So apart from capital appreciation tax, you guys on the other side, you have property tax as well.
So there's a mandatory property tax that every homeowner has to pay yearly. Yes, it is there for infrastructure. It is there to run the city, give you the services and facilities. But then again, if you are a homeowner that is not using much of those, and sure, they take the money to make better infrastructure, make better roads, but we still have potholes wherever you go.
I was about to ask you about that. So we both know the money is not going entirely for that purpose.
It's not going entirely for that purpose, and also it's just taking way too long for me to see that money being used. Sure, I don't mind paying the money, but when I see it, I want to see that money work. But when I don't see it working, that's where I have issues and problems. So you're paying property taxes on top of that, which is roughly about 1.5%, 1 to 1.5% of your property value. and that can equate to around 30. Well, if I put in dollars, anywhere from $7,000 depending on your property value, upwards of 15,000 if your property value is higher. So in dirham, we're talking about anywhere from 20 to 40,000 dirhams per year you're paying just to own the property. Whether you live in it, you don't, you rent it out, you don't rent it out, this is something you have to pay.
And this is common practice, I believe, or common law in other cities as well.
Other countries other than Canada,
as
yeah,
well.
for sure.
But that's something we don't have it in Dubai, like entirely. We pay zero property tax and we pay zero capital appreciation tax. Whatever money you make on top of your investment is all yours. Today you buy a property, let's say for $1 million, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, you sell it for 1.5 million. The 500,000 dirham profit you're making on top, it's all yours. There's no tax on that one. And obviously the property taxes as well, it's zero over here. What other sort of tax you have in Canada? Because I know there's a lot of them. So we're gonna bring them all here. I heard that, you know what, there's another tax, home working tax.
So you haven't heard about it, Lahi. You actually have experienced it.
I'm actually asking because I own properties in Canada as well. And I'm facing that issue right now. I'm going to tell you the story by my side, what happened. So a couple of days ago, I received an email says that, you know what, for one of your property, you need to pay about 14,000 Canadian. And I was all caught in surprise, like what's happening? And they mentioned that, you know, any home or apartment or condo, if it's empty, you need to pay tax. My question was here, I already have a tenant there. Why the system is not that much advanced that to understand if this property was rented or not? No, let alone aside the question, why if the property is empty, you have to get tax on top of it?
On top, it's not even connected.
Yeah, and I'm like, why the system is not connected to each other? Aren't you guys regulated like, you know, similar to Dubai?
We're definitely regulated. Our system is very mature.
Yeah.
It's been there for a very long time, but it is not integrated and advanced like the way it is in Dubai. Things take time, right? There's processes. Sometimes it'll take a year or 2 years for it to pop up in the CRA system that these properties are rented, or until you don't file your taxes, or if you have to declare it in many places. And if you gotta have an accountant that does the right job and puts all this. So if you don't have someone doing their job properly, or it gets missed on a piece of form that you fill out, still on pen and paper, if it doesn't get picked up on there, you will have these discrepancies, and then it takes months and so much back and forth of submitting paperwork. You have to show proof that your property was rented in order then for the CRA to claw back and say, hey, okay, fine, you don't owe us this money. But in like our systems, they're mature, they've been there for a long time, but they're just outdated. For example, just to even get your property registered, let's say I sell you my property, and we've done the transaction, we've done the finance part where the money has transferred and the agreements are all signed, but it can take months before the title deed gets transferred over to another person's name. Now, in some cases, people are like, so what? As long as it gets transferred, it's fine. But there has been cases, unique cases, where the home was flipped multiple times and there were fraud that happened because the title deed did not transfer in time.
So let me stop you over here. After 2 years being in Dubai, I'm sure you know what's the answer.
Yeah, I definitely do.
How long does it take time to transfer a property, let's say, from my name to your name?
Elahi, I mean, if we go now, we can have it done in the next hour. And we can have the title deed with my name being transferred over to your name, as long as we go and we pay, the transfer of funds is done, we show the proof. All what Dubai is looking for, they're looking for proof that the money got exchanged and there's an agreement and title deed is transferred.
So technically you can walk into any trustee office, have all those documents ready before in hand, and the entire transfer process, it takes literally 30 minutes, not more than that. Not even 1 hour.
Sorry, I
30
said
minutes.
1 hour. I
No
apologize
worries.
for that mistake.
Dubai, things happen
Very
speedy.
quick. Very
Right.
quick.
All
Definitely.
right. Okay. We cover healthcare, school, and also tax. What other reason brought you up here?
Well, lifestyle is a huge reason that made me change and come over here. And in lifestyle, I've covered a few different things. Obviously, the weather, right?
Yeah.
We got 365 days of sunshine in Dubai. And in Canada, yes, the summers are amazing, but they only last maximum of 3 months. Is where we
That's
have
maximum, I guess. Yeah.
maximum of 3 months where we have, really good weather with sunshine every day. The rest of the year, especially the winter months, are very dark, very gloomy. There's depression in there. Not to say that I had depression, but in the winter months, you just feel like, 5 p.m., everything is dark, everything
Yeah.
shuts down. On a weekday around 8, 9 p.m., all grocery stores, any activity places, everything is shut down. So you're forced to be home. And in Dubai, I think everything starts at 5 p.m.
Start at 5
and
p.m.
you can go do your grocery shop. Like just last night, my wife wanted me to grab a few items from the grocery store, and it was 11:30, and I'm thinking, oh, it's too late. But when I looked at the time, it's only 11. And my mind is already changed so much where I said it's only 11:30.
Exactly.
And I went to the grocery store and or the supermarket as we call it here, and you know what? I had to park, I had to walk 1 minute. So there were at least 30, 40 cars in the parking lot at 11:30 p.m. at nighttime.
But also you can always go to one of those applications.
Oh, 100%.
Whether it's going to be Amazon or noon, it doesn't matter what time of the day or night.
It doesn't
Within
matter.
15 minutes, 20 minutes, I can do a delivery for you.
So yeah, I've been very spoiled with this. Sometimes I feel like we get so spoiled in Dubai.
True.
I like to get up and go to the grocery store because it gives me something to
it's
do.
just like a fun thing to do.
It's an activity to do. But yes, you can literally so going back to the lifestyle, in Canada, you have to do majority of the chores yourself. Yes, we do have Uber that does some deliveries, but it's not that quick. And again, their cutoff times is not 24 hours. After 8 or 9 p.m. on weekdays, everything shuts down. On weekends, even earlier, 6 p.m. everything is shut down, and you have very limited access to what you can get. Over here, I see, again, this can also be a bad thing. I see packages that my wife is ordering at 2 a.m. show up. Talabat drivers are coming at 2 a.m. with some items. I'm like, are you still shopping? Like, give it a break. But pro and con. Con is that you can shop all the time.
You have to have your credit card handy all the time.
Yes, and the pro in this is that you can get any item you want, delivered to your doorstep at any time.
And it's not only the item; it's also the service. Let me just bring up this one. I remember a couple of months ago, I was at home and around 12:30, and still I was awake. I mean, come on, it's in Dubai.
Yes.
And I had an appointment in the morning, and I had to go somewhere, and I needed something to print out. Now I was thinking, should I go get my car, come to the office, print it out? Obviously, office I have access to it 24/7. Print out the document, then go back home. But I'm like, hold on a second, we're in Dubai.
There must
I'm
be.
sure there must be a service where they provide such things. And all I had to do, just simply go and Google, I need to print out some few paper. Believe it or not, I called someone, they are 24/7 in Dubai, and they told me, you know what, sir, yes, we do have the service. The only thing, each paper is gonna cost you 5 dirham. Now 5 dirham is what? It's like,
Not even $2?
not even $2, $5 dirham per each pages. And then they told me, sir, we have a 25 dirham delivery charge.
Delivery charge.
Which again is what?
Not even $10.
Not even $10. So I
think it would cost you more in your car.
Exactly. I'm like, it cost me maybe let's say altogether 50 dirham, but within 30 minutes, I saw someone is knocking my door. I'm like, here we go, sir, your document. I don't think we can get this service anywhere else.
No, there's certain things that only exist in Dubai.
Yeah, and this is the beauty of Dubai, and make it more comfortable, because I feel always they're trying to provide service for you. Yes, we might get spoiled. We don't want to be like that, but sometimes some of the stuff we need it.
You need the convenience, especially
you
when
need
you
the
work hard and you're out all day working hard, or you're just. I find it that this is the way I break it down. So going back to the question of lifestyle, how it helps is, again, as I said, me and my wife both work in Canada. But I literally sat there one day and I calculated how much time we spend on doing chores around the house, which I have no issue doing. I know you've seen me that I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Whatever it is I do. But, I'm at a point in my life where I feel like my time is worth more. Than doing a chore that, I can have it done by someone, or I can just have access to it that it just gets done faster. So we spend 4 hours daily, me and my wife, doing chores around the house, from doing laundry to washing dishes to cleaning the house, from shoveling the snow outside, from doing lawn mowing and whatnot. Yes, you can get this help in Canada as well, but it is very expensive. Just to get your grass cut in Canada, you're looking to pay close to $70 to $80, which is somewhere around 200 dirhams. Just to get your grass cut. Over here, I can hire someone who I pay maybe 200 to 300 dirhams, and they can maintain my grass for the whole month. So exactly. These are huge differences when it comes to living your life. So now these 4 hours that I'm gaining back on a daily basis, I can use it towards my lifestyle. I can give it to my kids. Like, I literally take my kids to the park every day. Every day. And I can't imagine doing this in Canada because I just don't have the time, right? Or I can give that time to myself, right? Hobbies that I want to do. Or if I just want to relax, or, even take a midday nap. You can't take a midday nap in Canada and Dubai. It's a very common thing. You can take a midday nap just because of all the time you gain back from not doing these little chores, and you have domestic help that helps you do these chores. So your lifestyle just automatically gets an upgrade. And then with sunshine 365 days a year, you just walk out and you just feel happy because the weather is amazing.
The weather is amazing, we know that. I agree with you, even though I have to be honest, summer is a bit too much, but I guess that's the time the school is off, people to go for vacation. I usually do travel to Europe or Canada itself.
Yeah.
So there's a solution for everything, I guess. Now, I know if we continue to talk about this one, there's
we can go on
a lot to discuss, because I want to ask so many questions. You have experience there, and as I said, I've been living there myself also, I know, but I want to hear more from you. But there's one more aspect about Dubai that everyone know about that, and we all praise about that. Mm-hmm. And that's the safety.
That's a huge aspect of Dubai.
So when we talk about Dubai, we talk about tax, we talk about safety. Now, we all know Abu Dhabi, I think last year, was the safest city in the world. Imagine, the safest city in the entire world. And then also Dubai, I guess it was on the third place.
Top 5,
exactly. Yeah. So tell me again, comparison Dubai to Canada. You lived on both sides now, I can say, and having family. Are you way more comfortable here, let's say, leaving your family, coming to your work, and not worry about them compared to Canada? Or would you say Canada is safer?
So Canada used to be safer.
Used to, all right.
Okay. One of the major reasons why my family immigrated to Canada 30 years ago was one of the biggest reasons was safety.
True. At the time.
At that time. This was in the mid-90s. At that time, Canada was amazing, was a very safe country. But over the last 10 years, there has been this huge change of where safety has not become a priority anymore. From having your vehicle stolen, your car stolen, from your driveway. This actually happened to me. So I'm talking about first-hand experience.
You're not the only one. I've been hearing for lots of other people. We unfortunately both know what's happening in the city. Mm-hmm. But go ahead and tell me what.
So my own vehicle, my truck got stolen from my driveway at 9 a.m. in the morning. This is morning. Like who robs your car?
Broad daytime.
Broad daytime, and people are going to work or school. My truck was robbed right from my driveway. So this is just one kind of issue. Another major issue is robberies. People robbing from stores to your home. And when someone comes to your house to rob, you can't even defend yourself in Canada. You're supposed to put up your hand and walk to the side and say, Mr. or Miss Robber, please come in my house. Welcome. Do you want me to cook you something while you rob my house? Literally, that's what you've been advised from our police chief. They say to let them rob, stay on the side, and when they're done, let them go. So you can't defend yourself, especially when someone's robbing you, right? Your vehicle can be stolen at any time. I was afraid to send my kids to a park which I can see from my driveway, from the front door. I can see this park where it is, but I didn't feel safe sending my kids there by themselves. I had to walk them over. Here, my kids every day go for a bike ride by themselves. They come back in an hour and I have zero concern. I had to lock my door all the time. You feel like you check your door 3 to 4 times a day just to make sure your front door is locked. You have to lock your vehicle anytime you go anywhere.
Even I remember when you go to a gas station, fill up the gas. Well, it's an old system. You have to go inside sometime to make the payment.
Well, you gotta pay yourself. You gotta pump yourself. You gotta go inside and pay. Yes.
Yeah, and then you're always scared that you leave your car.
You can't leave it on.
You can't leave it on. I do sometime when I'm there, like I'm back there. It's just like, and then I realize, God, I'm not in Dubai anymore, so I can't do that.
No, don't even try. I'll share a small story that a buddy of mine, like this is, when he shared this with me, I started laughing. So a really close friend of mine bought a 2019 Escalade, and he bought it in 2023. And I asked him, I'm like, lovely car. He bought it for his wife.
Yeah.
And I said, have you seen the new one? It's really amazing. And at that time, I was in the process. I think in 2021, I actually booked the new Escalade. The new shape change was really amazing. I said, why didn't you get that, right? And he's like, bro, you're gonna laugh when I tell you the reason. He's like, I'm afraid of putting my wife and my kids in a new Escalade so that when she's on the road or she's gone to pump up gas or petrol, as we call it in Dubai, someone might come in and drive away with the car with my kids in it. Like, you see the fear, Ilahi, that is in people? It is such a simple thing. Like, someone who can afford to have a nice car is choosing to go to a lesser car. Mind you, 2019 Escalade is a nice car too, but he cannot get what he really wants because he's afraid.
It simply is not safe then.
It's not safe.
And let me just stop you here again, that it's not about only Toronto or in Canada in general. We all know people in UK where
I think it's even worse in UK.
It's worse than Canada, I would say. People experiencing so many bad things that you assume those things can happen only in third world countries.
Yeah.
Not all the countries like UK in general. But let's just move from there also as well. So we discussed about healthcare, education system, safety, tax. What else is there? Is there any benefit that, okay, after being all these 2 years here, there should be something like, maybe on the other side is better than here, but just not give all the credit to Dubai? Is there anything you think on that side is better?
You know what? There are definitely certain things that are better on the other side. So one thing
personally, I enjoy the nice weather on that side. I'm not talking about harsh winter or a rainy day. Obviously, for me, being here for 26 years, when I come on that side, I see the snowy day for me is nice, but I can handle the snow
only for
for certain days.
Yes,
but not more than that. So
I think one of the biggest things that is still great about Canada is it's naturally green.
Naturally green.
Okay,
yep.
You have nature just all around you. It's embedded into the system. But having said that, in the winter you don't see any green. All you see is white, and it's not safe as well to drive on. But I do see that Dubai is doing an amazing job in planting trees all around. And now, as we both know, that all new communities that are coming out have to be at least 30% green. So it is coming here as well. But again, Canada just naturally has abundance of greenery, trees, grass, just anywhere you go. So that is one definite positive. For someone who also just moved here 2 years ago with just my wife and kids, I have my parents there. I have my whole family there. So that is one thing that you do miss, coming into a new place. But again, having said that, being here now for 2 years, I've had many friends that have moved here, including some family as well from Canada. And then you meet a lot of other great people who are kind of like-minded for what you're looking for in life as well. So you tend to make friends and a lot quicker and meet people. And life moves on. Yes, do I miss my parents and my family? 100%. But for that, I can go and travel and go meet them, and they actually.
You can always bring them here.
And yes, so that's another benefit. They love coming here. People like Dubai is a place where literally, Ilahi, every month I have 2 or 3 people that are coming in. And this is like that destination where people. It's like, to me, I call it like my house is like a hotel. Someone will come every couple of weeks saying, "Hey, Faisal, we're coming down. Can we come over, or let's hang out?" So you're always getting to meet people from back home all the time.
Great. With that being said, look, I know there is so many other aspects we can discuss about.
Definitely.
I want to later on maybe discuss about how to set up the business, how easy it is to set up the business, how was easy to take your kids maybe to school, and so many other things. But we don't want to make this episode too long. With that being said, I think it's fair enough to say goodbye for now, and then we'll go for next episode. Make sure to follow that and get more tips from a person who moved on the other side and you have the experience here in the growth. Thank you so much, Faisal.
Thank you, Lai.
Great to have you.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to having
more
more conversations.
Sure. Have a good one.